known as Stonehenge. This imposing monument has dominated the imagination of archaeologists and visitors for centuries.
Archaeologists just decoded the purpose of Stonehenge using a massive database of astronomical charts and acoustic tests. It is not that simple, though, because the deeper they dig, the darker the story gets.
Actually, Stonehenge is aligned with the sun.
If you stand in the right place, the space between the central megalith perfectly frames the sun's movement on 2 days of the year.
The crazy part is that Stonehenge was engineered to manipulate human emotions through sound. Everyone is obsessed with the stones, but they are missing the most important part of the puzzle. This is a story about a ruling elite that used advanced science to control the masses, and that is putting it lightly. There is one detail about the altar stone that is genuinely terrifying and points to a global secret. Silent Giant awakens. For thousands of years, Stonehenge has stood silently on the Salisbury Plain, a puzzle of massive stones that has stumped the greatest minds in history. We have called it a temple, an observatory, or even a burial ground. But what if it is none of those things? What if it is something far more advanced and, frankly, far more unsettling? Recently, a team of researchers fed every single byte of data about Stonehenge into a next-generation artificial intelligence. We are talking geological surveys, astronomical charts, acoustic tests, and archaeological records going back a century. They hoped the AI might find a small clue, a tiny detail everyone had missed. Instead, the AI spit out a revelation so shocking it sounds like science fiction. The AI declared that Stonehenge is not a building. It is a machine. And it has a terrifyingly specific purpose. The first clue was the stones themselves. It is funny when you think about it. For years, experts argued about whether glaciers or humans moved the stones. That debate is over. We now know with 100% certainty that Neolithic people did it all. The smaller blue stones, weighing up to 3.5 tons each, were dragged an unbelievable 125 miles from Wales. But here is the kicker. This is the detail that sent chills down the spines of researchers. The massive altar stone is a 6-ton behemoth. Now, a new analysis shows that the 6-ton iconic altar stone at the heart of Stonehenge came from northern Scotland rather than southwest Wales. It was traced to a quarry 400 miles away in northern Scotland. 400 miles. That is like dragging a pickup truck from New York City to Pittsburgh using nothing but ropes, sledges, and pure muscle. Why on earth would they do that? The AI answer is where things get spooky. It was not about symbolism or finding the right kind of rock. According to the AI pattern analysis, these specific stones from these specific locations have unique geological and metallic compositions. They were chosen like components for a circuit board. The AI model suggests the different stones interact with the magnetic field of the Earth in a very particular way. The builders were not just constructing a monument, they were assembling a complex device based on a blueprint of jaw-dropping sophistication. They knew something about geology and physics that we are only just beginning to understand. The sheer effort was not a display of devotion. It was a non-negotiable requirement to make the machine work. Get this. The AI cross-referenced the stone placement with star charts from 5,000 years ago. We always knew Stonehenge aligned with the solstices. That is old news. But the AI found a secondary alignment, one that is much more subtle and much more important. It does not track the sun or the moon. It tracks a specific empty point in space. On those few days around the longest day of the year, just as the sun rises, you would have seen a shaft of sunlight coming right into this. It would have been a very spectacular effect. It is a celestial marker for an event that does not happen every year or even every century, but on a cycle of thousands of years. The entire monument, this impossibly built machine, was designed to activate when certain cosmic bodies align with that single dark spot in the sky. The AI analysis concluded this with a 93% probability. The question is, what happens when it activates? The code was hidden in the layout, the geology, and the astronomy. But it was just the first layer of this terrifying onion. The AI next discovery would reveal what the machine actually does. But the real nightmare begins with a sound that no one can hear: psychological warfare stones. Stonehenge is a machine, a giant circuit board made of multi-ton stones aligned to a mysterious point in the cosmos. That is a wild thought. But the next piece of the puzzle that the AI uncovered is even more disturbing. It is not just about what Stonehenge is made of or where it is pointing, it is about the invisible power it can generate. For years, people who visited Stonehenge have reported feeling a strange sensation, a weird energy, or a low hum. Most dismissed it as imagination, but the AI says it is real and it was engineered. A few years ago, before this AI was even online, scientists built a perfect 1:2 scale model of Stonehenge to study its acoustics. They used 3D printed stones to replicate the original layout with insane precision. What they found was amazing. The monument is an acoustic paradise. It amplifies sound and creates a unique audio environment, trapping sound within the circle. Stonehenge researchers conducted a number of experiments on it. They used the human voice at 1/12 volume because it is a 1/12 model. But the AI took this data and ran it through millions of simulations, testing frequencies far beyond the range of human hearing. Its conclusion was chilling. The monument was not built to amplify voices or music for ceremonies. It was built to generate and focus a specific low-frequency sound. This is where it gets terrifying. This frequency, known as infrasound, is below the range of normal human hearing. You cannot hear it, but you can feel it. It has been shown to cause feelings of anxiety, dread, sorrow, and even paranoia. Some studies have linked it to people thinking they have seen ghosts or felt a presence in a room. It resonates with the human body itself, creating physical vibrations in our organs. Now imagine that effect scaled up, powered by the immense stone structure of Stonehenge and fine-tuned to absolute perfection. The AI model shows that when the machine is active, it would generate a wave of infrasound so powerful it could be felt for miles. Think about it. An entire population bathed in a constant inaudible frequency that makes them feel anxious and fearful. It is the ultimate tool of psychological control. The AI theorizes that the monument could have been used to pacify a huge population to make them compliant or to create a state of religious terror during specific rituals. The builders were not just architects, they were masters of acoustic science and human psychology. They essentially built a weapon of mass influence capable of manipulating the emotional state of thousands of people at once. The energy people feel today could just be a faint echo, a residual whisper of the true terrifying power of the monument. It is one thing to build an incredible structure. It is another thing to design it to control minds. The big question remains who actually had the power to build this. Hidden masters revealed. The story just keeps getting darker. We have a machine designed to track a cosmic event and a sonic weapon to control a population. So, who were the masterminds behind this incredible, terrifying project? For a long time, the prevailing theory was that Stonehenge was a monument of unification. Archaeologists found that the people buried near the site came from all over ancient Britain. The idea was that building Stonehenge brought different tribes together in a great peaceful collaborative effort. It is a nice story. Unfortunately, the AI analysis suggests the reality was the exact opposite. The AI took all the archaeological and anthropological data and ran it through a societal simulation model. It concluded that a project of this scale requiring this level of precision and this amount of labor was not possible with a loose confederation of tribes. The logistics are mind-boggling. Moving the 6-ton altar stone 400 miles from Scotland would require a level of organization and resource management that rivals modern engineering projects. You would need thousands of laborers, a constant supply of food and water, expert toolmakers, and brilliant engineers, all working in perfect sync for years, if not decades. According to the AI, this was not unification, it was domination. The evidence points to a powerful, centralized, and highly advanced ruling class that held sway over the entire British Isles. This was not a kingdom as we know it with castles and cities. It was a ghost empire, an elite group whose power was based not on armies but on superior knowledge. Knowledge of astronomy, geology, acoustics, and psychology. The stones brought from different parts of the country were not symbols of unity. They were tribute. They were proof of subservience from conquered or controlled territories demanded by this unseen elite. Think about the sheer human cost. The AI model estimates that a project like Stonehenge would have required the labor of tens of thousands of people over several generations. This was not a summer project. It was a life work for countless individuals. The society the AI describes is chillingly stratified. A small, brilliant elite at the top, and a massive controlled labor force at the bottom, kept in line by psychological manipulation and a culture of fear possibly amplified by the monument itself. We find no evidence of massive battles or weapons, but that is the point. Their control was more subtle, more complete. Why swing a sword when you can vibrate the soul of someone into submission? This ghost empire had the knowledge to design the machine and the power to force thousands to build it. They were playing a long game, preparing for that cosmic event the monument was built to track. But they were not just watching the stars for the view. Reality warp trigger. A planetary defense system is frightening. A mind control device is worse. But when the AI was pushed past safe assumptions and into raw speculative modeling, drawing from quantum physics and fringe cosmology, it produced a third explanation. And this one makes ancient alien theories feel almost comforting. According to the model, Stonehenge was not built to protect anyone. It was not meant to control minds. It was designed to move something without ships, engines, or machines by rupturing reality itself. Here is where it gets strange. The infrasound frequencies generated by the stones, when amplified during rare cosmic energy events, could theoretically create a localized resonance so intense it weakens the boundary between dimensions. Not metaphorically, physically. The stones do not just carry sound. Their metallic traces and crystalline structures turn them into impossibly stable tuning forks. Each one hauled from a precise quarry hundreds of miles away vibrates at its own frequency. Activated together, they do not produce a single tone, but a layered resonant chord. And in the most extreme simulations of the AI, that chord aligns with the theoretical frequency of space-time itself. In this framework, Stonehenge is not a weapon or a shield. It is a key. The altar stone, the 6-ton slab dragged all the way from Scotland, was the final component. Its unique composition acts as the master resonator, the last note that locks the chord into place. Cosmic alignment supplies the power. The stones provide the precision. Together, they open a stable, repeatable gateway. The empty point it tracks in space is not empty at all. It is a destination. Maybe we have misunderstood Stonehenge from the beginning. What if it is not primitive at all? What if it is the most advanced technology ever built on Earth? The so-called Ghost Empire may not have been rulers. They may have been navigators armed with a map of reality that extended beyond stars into other planes of existence. The question is haunting. Were they trying to leave or invite something through? Because the precision suggests this was not an experiment. It was a repeatable process. This changes everything. The massive workforce was not raising a monument. They were constructing an escape hatch or a welcome mat for an entire planet. And what if the goal was not travel at all, but a full reset of the world itself? According to the AI, the next alignment is happening soon. If we are just the products of a previous reseeding, are we ready to face our creators when they wake up? Leave a comment with your theories, like the video, and subscribe.